everyone, so I'm quickly going to show you today how I've been styling my hair, and it is pretty much self-explanatory, probably doesn't need an entire video dedicated to it, but I did ask a few videos back if anybody would like to see an updated styling routine and a kind of chat about a few of the products that I've been using on my hair recently, and quite a few of you said yes. So today I'm just going to show you how I do these kind of messy, slightly loose, curly, texturized waves. So I've just washed and blow dried my hair as normal, and for that I use the Redken Body Full shampoo, and this is a really nice everyday volumizing shampoo. It doesn't leave any product or stickiness in your hair, and I find with some shampoos that claim to be quite volumizing, they do end up leaving a lot in your hair, which ends up weighing it down and having the reverse effect. This one's nice because it's just quite a light and mild shampoo that gives you a bit of boost and lift at the roots but makes your hair feel quite weightless at the same time. So if I know I'm going to be using a heat tool like a curling wand or a straightener like I am today, I always try and use a slightly more conditioning product after my shampoo, so either a rich conditioner or a conditioning mask. So today I use the Bumble Deep mask, which is nice because again it's not really heavy, it's not going to weigh my hair down and kind of make the curls drop really quickly, but it does inject a bit of extra hydration and a bit of moisture into my hair, and it smells like bananas too, which is definitely a plus. I've been trying to cut down on my styling products more recently, so I only use two things before I actually blow dry my hair, and the first one is a mousse. This is the Volume Advanced Volumizing Mousse from Ojon, and I feel really into mousses at the moment. I know they kind of bring up memories of sticky, crunchy, wet looking hair, which is just not what you want, but this is a really nice way to give that boost and a bit of volume but without having too much product in. I think because it's a very aerated, weightless type mousse, it just gives that bit of extra lift and a bit of hold as well when it comes to using the curling wand, but it doesn't feel like you've got too much product in there. And after that I'll use something to protect my hair, and I'm not too fussed when it comes to heat protectants. I tend to just pick whatever's on offer or whatever jumps out to me from the shelf. So at the moment I'm using the LOreal Ever Sleek range. This is from the No Sulfates Soothing Care System, and I've tried a couple of shampoos and conditioners from that range and I think they're really nice, so I thought I'd give this one a go. It smells really good, which again, always a plus when it comes to hair products, and I think it does a good job of protecting my hair. I haven't noticed any split ends or damage and things since I've been using this. Sometimes I will leave my hair to dry naturally, but I do find I get the most lift and volume when I blow dry it with a hairdryer. So this is just a very, very old and ancient looking thing that I've had for years, and I start to sort of blow dry it from the roots, kind of get rid of all the moisture around that area, but I do try and leave the ends, so I'll sort of tip it upside down, try and create a bit of volume, and then after that I'll use a diffuser. So this giant thing actually plugs onto the end of my hairdryer, and I start by sort of twisting the ends around my finger and then just really randomly and then push it into the diffuser, and I find that way it prevents it getting as damaged, I think, but it also gives a nice natural texture to it as well, and again a bit of boost and a bit of volume. So diffuser is a really handy thing to have. So you can probably see I have quite a lot of hair, but it's very flat at the top here, so I definitely need a bit of boost in the roots. Before I actually go on to curling it, I like to put a bit of the Bumble Pret-a-Powder through it, and that may seem a kind of funny way to do things, but I find you get more sort of even distribution that way before you actually go on to curling it by putting it all around the hair. And it does have a bit of a style extender in it too, so I find once you curl it with a little bit of this in it, it tends to hold the curl better. So this is probably one of the messiest products I actually own, so I try to be as neat as possible, but it more than likely ends up all over me. But I just sort of section my hair at random, tip a little bit in and just shake it right out from the pot, and then give it a little zhuzh up. And I just do that pretty much around the top of my head and the crown, and then a little bit through the ends as well. I also think this is a really great one to use after you've styled it, so the second or the third day, because it also works as a bit of a dry shampoo with that extra bit of boost in it too, so it's a nice 2-in-1 product. So the curling wand I'm actually going to be using is this one from TRESemme, and I'm not sure what the size of this one is. There's only one that they do, so it's the standard size, but I think it's around about a 1 inch and then tapers out towards the top. I don't really section my hair off at all, just because I find that way it looks a bit too overdone and a bit too curled, whereas I like to just go for more random sections. So I just grab a few pieces, sometimes they're thicker, sometimes they're thinner, and then I just loosely wrap it around the curling iron. And I probably leave it there for around 5 or 6 seconds, I don't really count, just until it feels as if the hair is starting to heat up. And then I kind of work inwards, just grabbing random sections again. I sometimes alternate them, but I tend to keep the curl going away from my face just because I find that's a bit more flattering for me. But every now and then I'll drop in an extra one that's a different direction, so it kind of makes them less likely to all form into one big curl. Have much of a fringe left anymore, but I have these slightly shorter parts, so when it comes to those I just grab a handful and I sort of just gently wrap it around the wand, so not very tightly, just a little bit, and it gives it that little flick out, which I think is quite flattering around the face. And then after the curls have sort of set and they've cooled down a bit, I use a hairspray to keep them in place. And this is the Schwarzkopf Got To Be Too Sexy Big Volumizing hairspray. That is a mouthful, and I really didn't think I'd like this, but I've purchased it now, or repurchased it, probably about 3 or 4 times. I think it's a really brilliant hairspray, and it does add that little bit of volume. It's almost got a tiny bit of the Oribe dry texturizing spray type product mixed in with it, I think, but it sets the curls really well. So I just spray it in quite lightly, and then also on the front parts just to keep them in place. So now comes the fun part, and you can still see it's looking a little bit flat around the roots, and if there was one product or one hairstyling tool that I could recommend to anybody, it would be one of these, cheap and cheerful. This is a teasing brush. This is from Denman, but you can pick them up anywhere. You get them from eBay for about 99p. The soft bristles in this just make it perfect for teasing the hair and adding that little bit of fluffy texture, but without damaging it or being too knotty and too harsh, because I think sometimes when people think of teasing and backcombing, they just associate it with your hair being a mess and unable to brush through once you've done it, but this just gives it a nice little boost of lift. So I start by sectioning off the back, and because I've already got the Bumble powder in there, when I go to tease it, it just adds a little bit of hold and grip in there too, so just very, very gently. And then the sides. And the front bit as well, and I tried to kind of get my little fringy bits in there too. And then I just flatten down the top, take away any bumps and any flyaway bits of hair. So that's pretty much how I've been styling my hair recently, and I hope that was maybe a little bit informative for you if you did really want to know how I've been doing it. I'm definitely not a hair expert, so don't take anything I say as the absolute truth, but that's just how I've been liking to do it recently. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.